Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Happy, Healthy Human podcast. I'm Kara.
And I'm Lauren. On this podcast, we cover a variety of things, and it's movement, nutrition, connection, mindset, rest, and recovery. Today, actually, we're going to be talking about rest and recovery. We're going to give you some tips of what Kara and myself do when it comes to helping our body repair and rebuild, because we're working out all the time. We're buff women.
All the time, baby.
All the time. But we take rest days. You do more than I do.
We'll go
over that.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Lauren.
Yes, Kara?
What's been going on lately? What have you been up to?
You know, I have been busy. I'm starting to get into like a little bit of a slower season with my work schedule, but I feel like I've been just running from thing to thing. I have my 10th marathon next Sunday.
10th marathon.
So I've been
okay, light work.
Doing that. And I went to Indiana and I met my little
Yes.
niece. And she's like, we call her a butterball. Her name is Alta, but she's like so chunky, 3 weeks old. So I got to hold her for a week, and that was 2 weeks ago.
Sweet.
So thank you for covering for me for those 5:30 a.m.s.
I got you.
I appreciate it. But
I needed you the week after when
we got each other's back.
I was struck by the plague. Just kidding.
No, literally, we're like, Kara, she's not well. I'm so sorry she's not here again to coach.
If you know me, I get sick many times throughout the year.
I'm learning this because it's my first year with you, and I'm like, are you okay?
It's kind of the running joke at the gym that I do get sick all the time. But this time, so 2 months ago, I had the stomach flu. That was fun. I was out for a week.
I do remember that week.
This month, I came down with like very similar thing on Monday afternoon. You know, I was totally
laughing.
fine.
I don't mean to
Totally
smile.
fine.
I don't want you to be sick, but I'm laughing at your explanation already. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
I went home from work Monday afternoon. Luckily, everyone that was supposed to train that night canceled. The blessing in disguise.
So I went to
home.
everyone who canceled Monday night.
And then I was on my deathbed for about 4 days. And by the time that Wednesday night hit, I was like, I need to go to the doctor because I need an IV. I have not eaten in 3 days.
So not good.
I cannot coach. I cannot go to work. And I got salmonella.
Which is also random. How did you get salmonella?
We don't know.
From eggs?
We don't know, right? Like the doctor's like, well, I don't like, tell me the things you ate. So I, read off a list of like everything I had that day.
Yeah.
We've deducted it down to deducted. Is that a word?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Deducted.
We're down to either eggs or this turkey that I bought from a store. I will not tarnish their name, but it was deli meat.
Costco.
So
yeah. Costco.
So anyway, salmonella. One of those things that like you hear about a lot, but you're like, good thing that's never happened to me before.
That was in grade school. They were big on that. Like you wash your hands or you're gonna get salmonella. So somehow you still got it.
So anyway, so antibiotics did the trick. We're back at work. We're healthy again. Happy, healthy human
People
right
were
here.
like, is Coach Kara okay? And I'm like, I think so.
I got a lot of, are you pregnant? That was a big one. Every time I'm out, people think I'm pregnant.
Everyone's ready.
Everyone's ready. Stomach flu.
You're like, this could be the next 5 years. We don't even know.
Yeah. But anyway, we're back. So happy to be back. And with that, I rested a lot last week.
Yeah,
so
let's hear about it. Let's
we're
get right
feeling
in.
good coming back into training this week. But yeah, that's gonna be our topic for today is rest and recovery, how to take care of our body when we are in the midst of training, exercising, whatever type of journey that you're on.
Yep.
Why don't we kick off with some nutrition?
Let's talk about it.
I would love to hear what your nutrition looks like surrounding your exercising, especially when it comes to your running days versus your CrossFit days.
Yes. Well, and some days I'm doing double days. Some days it's like CrossFit and running. So what do I do there? So personally, if I work out in the morning, I'm not eating beforehand. I'm thinking about what I'm eating afterwards. So like if I have a morning workout, I'm not hungry. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go straight into that workout.
How early is that workout? Like where do you draw the line?
6:30 a.m.
Okay.
So if I've been up a couple hours, I definitely don't have food. But if I'm doing, so like 9 a.m. class, I'm having like protein and oats and maybe chia seeds beforehand, like an hour within, because I'm like, I don't want to throw up, but I also need something. But if it's earlier, I will just decide like, okay, I'm going to get protein and carb right afterwards. So like my post-workout nutrition, I want to make sure I get something to replenish these muscles.
Yeah.
When it comes to running though, there's like a lot more strategy is depending on like a long run. I'm thinking about it sounds funny, but every hour I'm running.
Yeah,
so
for
if I'm running
sure.
a couple hours, I need to have like 200 to 400 calories of like simple carbs within that hour. And so I'm usually having like rice cakes or Gatorade beforehand. And then I have like gels, I have gummy bears, I have like crap that I usually don't want to eat, but because I need to restore my muscles like ASAP, I'm using that throughout. I actually hate eating during running, but I'll do it because if not, you're gonna not be able to like finish the run well.
Yeah.
So there's different things you kind of figure out like what feels good on my stomach versus not, like, and usually that's through like trial and error. And you probably have felt that too. You're like, I feel like once I had Chipotle before a CrossFit workout and it was all burpees over the rower.
And then you were burping during that?
I literally almost threw up. Like, you know, and so we have sometimes have members who are like, I just ate right before. And we're like, yeah, it depends on the food, what you eat before for your workout to feel fueled.
Yeah.
You might feel like crap if not.
I'm curious about like the candy aspect of it, because obviously when you're running, it is an extremely, like, it's basically all endurance for however long that you're going for it. And so was that something that you realized you needed, or was it with working with a coach? Like, how did you learn what was gonna like work best for you during those like longer run days?
I mean, you'll usually, once you get around runners, you realize like there's some people who like have straight up like Coke. They'll drink like distilled Coke, like anything that's like simple sugar. So you'll hear things, they're like, oh, this works for me, this works for me. You know, in races, we always have Gatorade, and you have these gels, and they're like straight up sugar. I at first was like, oh, that's too unhealthy. I don't want to do that. But then I realized, oh, within like a certain macro range, like it's actually the best thing to help me get through whatever I need to do. I think I've had also like a nutrition coach be like, you need to do this. You're under eating when it comes to working out, because I was like, well, this isn't healthy. And realizing like, oh, well, this is helping my performance. I'm burning it off anyways, because I don't want to deplete my muscle. I want to get the energy, which, you know, that glycogen. And so I'm like, I need to get sugar in me so that can get burned off first. So I had to like go backtrack and be like, oh yeah, this is actually going to be good for me. It's not harmful. And that, because, you know, you hear carbs are bad if anyone's like grew up in a diet culture, and realizing, oh, carbs are like totally good. Yeah. They're really needed, especially if we're doing the type of sports that we're doing.
Yep.
So I'd love to hear though, you know, what have you been doing for nutrition when it comes to recovery and post workout?
Yeah. Well, so I'm sure I've talked about this before on the podcast, but like I sustained a back injury a couple years ago, and it was like over time and trial and error, like I realized that I was under fueling. One, I was overtraining during that time, but two, I was also not fueling or resting properly.
We're told as women, I think, to not eat much.
Yeah.
We're literally like, they're like, eat as little as possible and work out a ton, which is crazy. It actually is like counterintuitive.
100%. So it's like once you start eating more volume, so obviously everyone's different, right? It's like it depends on how you train. Lauren, who runs for, I don't know, 4+ hours at a time, she needs candy in the middle of her workout because she's completely depleting her sugar. She needs the carbs to be able to replenish her energy. Whereas someone coming to like a 1 hour CrossFit class is going to eat a little bit different than how she would, right? Yep. So for me, I train about like 2.5 hours a day. That includes like doing physical therapy and working out. And after I had sustained a back injury, it would kind of flare up here and there. And when I started working with a nutrition coach, I realized that I was just under eating like surrounding my workouts. And that was causing me to have more fatigue, which would cause me to also use my back in some of my lifts that I was doing.
Oh, dang. It got like really intricate.
I mean, it gets deep with your nutrition coach when you're talking multiple times a week.
You're like, this all is connected.
Yeah, but it's like fatigue was causing me to have bad form because I just didn't have the energy to be able to move well. Yeah. So we realized what worked best for me was within like 2 hours of my workout, I would have like one serving of protein, like around like 25-30 grams, and then 1 to 2 servings of carbs, which would be like 50 grams of carbs, like a bagel or something like that.
Yeah, what were some examples of those foods, by the way?
Yeah, I'm big. Okay, I'm on overnight oats kick right now.
Same.
So scoop of protein, a cup of oats, and a banana is like so good. A couple hours before training. And then I'm also like, I feel like everyone here knows that I love bagels. So like a bagel with some eggs or egg whites. She always has
like
really
a
good.
little foil bagel with her egg.
Foil it up. You gotta feel like you're coming from a bagel shop. Yeah, I have like, you know, hyperfixations on things. So that's like the same 2 things I've eaten for like 3 years now.
Honestly, I've not known you long, and it's always like, I'm like, does she just eat every meal the same?
Yeah, basically it's like all the same, but you find what you like, right?
But
like,
then if it works, it works. Yeah. Why not?
So I'll eat that like an hour or 2 before training. If I train a little bit later in the day, I'll usually have another like 30 grams of carbs before. That's when I'll eat like fruit, dried mango, something like that, just to get like some quick sugar. And then during training, if I'm like bonking in between my like strength portion and my Metcon piece, I'll have like, you know, candy, as much as I don't like to eat it during either, because I feel like it's just like, quote, not good for you. But it's like, for the way that we train, it is actually like, it brings life back.
You have to get the life back.
Yeah, so I'll do that, and then after training, within like 1 to 2 hours, I'll try to eat my lunch usually, which is like 2 servings of rice, and then like, I don't know, 7 to 8 ounces of protein, which gets me like 50, 60 grams.
Yeah.
But like big meal, because I want to make sure that whatever I did during that training session, I'm like replenishing as quickly as possible. Which I think is where a lot of people might fall short. That before and after period of training.
Yeah, I think, well, especially, okay, us too as female coaches, women are told eat less, work out more. Like we were kind of talking about, if you're like wanting to get into this like muscle or whatever, and that can actually work against you if you're wanting to get lean muscle mass. You have to replenish your muscles, or you can't get that lean muscle mass, and you can't like gain muscle and gain the strength that you need to be able to do what you want to do with CrossFit or other areas of athletics. So I'm like, yeah, we need to be able to actually be feeding our bodies. And so that pre-workout will help you have a good workout, and then gains muscle, and then the after workout, or the after, you know, food, being able to take care of yourself. So I'm like, you're killing it.
Yeah. And it's taken a lot of trial and error. Like, I used to not train like this. I used to take one CrossFit class and then do a little bit of extra work afterwards. And so my food looked different then. Like, I wouldn't eat quite as many carbs. I would still eat carbs, just not the same volume as now. And so it really comes down to like the individual. For men, for example, they are going to need to eat more than what we would need to eat, because they're most likely going to have more mass, more muscle mass.
Yeah, it eats so much.
Yeah.
He eats a lot.
Big eater behind the camera here.
Always has candy on him. I think there's gummy bears I'm looking at right now.
There's always candy around the gym hidden away. Or not, right in plain sight.
We're super healthy, we promise.
But I think what kind of goes hand in hand with nutrition too is water.
Yes.
And I'm sure we've all been on our journey with water. We have our Stanley cups. We're 2 white ladies. We have to have our Stanleys.
Well, mine's a Mayhem because I got it on sale at TJ Maxx.
All right, we got the knockoff Stanley. We got the
knockoff Stanley, but it's awesome.
But what does your water look like on days when you train versus rest days?
Okay, I drink the same every day.
Amazing.
And the way I test is I look at my pee. I mean, that's the only
easiest marker.
Honestly, I mean, I'm like, okay, have I had about like 3 of these today? And then, especially since I do drink coffee, I'm like trying to really hydrate. But I'm doing the pee test all the time. I'm like, how clear is this? If this isn't, I'm drinking more.
Yeah.
And I just think it's the most simple way for me personally, is like, is it more clear? Good, I'm staying hydrated. I would love to hear how you do it.
No, honestly, I think that is really funny. I do the pee test. Sometimes you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh gosh, okay, I need some more
I'm
water
gonna
now.
die.
If it looks like apple juice, you need to drink water, okay?
Even a dark yellow, like, you gotta go clear. You gotta go clear.
Yeah.
Drink that water.
I think my thing is like, once I start working for the day, I get so laser focused that 3 hours will go by and I'm like, oh, I have not taken a sip of water yet.
Yes.
So I use one while I'm training. I try to drink 30 to, what is mine, 40 ounces? I'm like staring at it as if it's gonna tell me.
Yeah, I think these are 40 ounces.
40 ounces. I'll do 40 ounces with 1 pack of electrolytes in it. Yeah, because I like the idea of electrolytes. I think that starting the day off, especially with them, actually helps me feel more motivated to drink more water.
Mm-hmm.
I know
it has that salt in it a little bit, so it makes you a little bit more thirsty.
Yeah, so starting the day off with electrolytes or while I'm exercising is always helpful. But if I go a long time without drinking it, my previous nutrition coach I had, my favorite thing she ever said was chug mentality. Like, if you realize it's been 2 hours since you've taken a sip of water, drink as much as you can in that moment, just to make sure that you're getting in enough by the end of the day.
That's good.
And then from there, it's like, obviously, okay, great, I haven't drank in 2 hours. I'm now gonna keep my water bottle next to me to make sure that I can drink that much. But do you follow any tips on like how much water you should drink based on like your activity level or like body weight or anything like that?
I'm not that specific. I literally am just like listening to my body throughout the day. I'm like, am I feeling fatigued? I mean, I'm pretty good at drinking water every hour almost.
Yeah.
And then I make sure to have electrolytes throughout long runs and afterwards. And I just do simple like powdered Gatorade. I don't know what type of electrolytes you use, but I'll I'll mix Gatorade Zero and then regular Gatorade, depending on like how many calories I'm needing for that run. But I'm thinking about that, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have 3 of these, which I think every person should have a water bottle they really like. Not like a crappy 100%, one. Like if you have cold water, you're just gonna want to drink it more if it's filtered or if you have a little bit of electrolytes. So yeah, I'm not prescribed of how. I probably should, honestly, but I think I've just always worked for me of like, I'm just drinking throughout the day and then I'm checking my pee and that's how I feel.
Do you feel like you ever have to like switch up your water bottle to encourage you to drink more?
I found this
or is that not relatable? Maybe that's me.
I found this one to be amazing, but I bet so. And also I'm curious, electrolytes. What electrolytes do you use?
Oh yeah, I do either Liquid IV or LMNT.
Yeah. That's what we have at the gym.
The 2 that I usually reach for. I feel like those 2 are like the most accessible because you can just order them on Amazon.
Or Costco, I think, has Liquid IV.
Has Liquid IV, which is great. But yeah, I like those ones just for the taste.
Yeah, I know, because there's some that have like made my stomach feel sick, and so I'm not gonna name them obviously, but
yeah,
if you don't feel good afterwards, don't do it. I'm like, I've got ones that make me feel sick, but
they're on my list.
You guys are out. So
yeah, I feel like for what I've seen work for me in the past too, because I honestly like I do struggle to drink enough water during the day. By nighttime, sometimes I'm like I just need to drink like 24 ounces right now just to like hit my goal for the day.
If you have like a headache or something, then you know.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Telltale signs. But I noticed too that like switching my water bottle every couple of months is very motivating. Like if I just go out to Target and be like, I'm just gonna pick a cute new water bottle, it honestly motivates me more to drink it.
Whatever it takes.
You gotta do what works.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Backtracking a little bit. I know we were talking about hydration, but I'm really curious of like your protein intake. What are you doing for protein?
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like that's huge for recovery. Like that's the thing I hear the most. And people are like, protein. And so just wanted to hear what your thoughts are.
I think that a good rule of thumb to follow, which is what I also follow, is to try your best to eat around like 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per body weight.
Yeah, for sure. I think you have to if you're doing what we're doing. Yeah,
and it's tough. Like, y'all want to know my weight? I eat 180 grams of protein a day.
Get it, girl.
Which is a lot of protein. I thought it was a lot of protein when I first started, but now that I've been doing that for about like 2 years, I think I've been eating that much. It's gotten really easy because you just find what works for you. Mm-hmm. Shakes, like a protein shake.
Well, that's easy then. You just get it in right after a workout or something.
Yeah. I found that like I really enjoy like ground beef and chicken thigh are like my go-tos. And so I'll just keep like a vat of it cooked at the beginning of the week so that a vat. I mean, me and my husband both eat a lot of protein, so we go to like Costco or Sam's Club and just buy a huge thing of it.
I know. I'd love to go to Costco run with you all. I'm like, it'd just be like all meat and some protein powder, probably. And some rice, like a big bag of rice.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, rice and proteins are always on deck at our house. So if you ever need to hit your macros, you can come over. But yeah, I just typically find like the animal proteins that I enjoy that are on the leaner side, because when you eat 180 grams of protein, the hardest part is staying under your fats. Yeah.
I love that we said at the same time.
We all know it, right? Like if I was eating 8 ounces of pork belly versus 8 ounces of chicken thigh, I would be eating more fat than protein during the day.
And I think that's where people get stuck is they're like, how do I get protein with low fat in it?
Yeah. So it's like finding those leaner sources, which ultimately, like eating leaner protein is going to help build your muscle, especially when you're consuming it a couple hours before and a couple hours after you exercise, right? Like we need to make sure that you can replenish what you just tore apart in your body while you exercise. We need to make sure that we have the protein to help rebuild that. So those are the things that I do. Have you found any tips or tricks that have helped you to be able to hit your protein goal?
I love Greek yogurt. So I've been doing a lot of like no fat Greek yogurts, like flavored ones. That's my favorite. Yeah. Overnight oats have been big. I've been also into lately chia seeds, like chia seed pudding. Oh yeah. With almond milk and chia seed. And that's been really nice. And that also has fiber. It's high in fiber. So it's a little bit of protein, high in fiber. And then I'm doing like cottage cheese, no fat cottage cheese. So sometimes I'm like, I don't want to eat this, but I know I gotta get my protein in. And then all the meats.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the hard part too, is like if you start setting out to hit a certain protein goal, like drinking it or eat in like a smoothie or if you just do like a, shaker bottle with water and protein, like it's the easiest way to get it down without feeling like, oh my gosh, I just ate this big piece of meat and now I'm really full. So you just have to find what
around
what
workouts,
works.
I'm not eating meat usually. I'm eating it like for lunch or for dinner.
Yeah, for sure.
And then eggs. Did we talk about eggs?
Oh, eggs. No, we didn't even mention that.
Yeah, like boiled eggs.
Oh my gosh.
Types of eggs.
Egg whites are amazing.
Yeah, you can get egg whites at Costco. You can get like the Kirkland egg whites. So you just put them in the pan and stir it up with some
easy.
Canadian bacon or turkey bacon.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kara, I guess my question would be, as we're starting to wrap up this part of our part 2 when it comes to recovery, do you have any final thoughts when it comes to nutrition and when it comes to hydration?
I think, yes, I do actually.
Let me hear.
I think that number one, like, as long as you are finding foods that you really enjoy and help you hit your fitness goals, figuring out what feels best for you surrounding your workout is going to be the most important thing. Like when we think about food quality and quantity, it's all dependent on like your activity level. And so figuring out what portion sizes and types of food make you feel really good surrounding your workout, those are going to be the things that help you recover better, faster, because you're enjoying it and you can be sustainable with it. So in terms of water, find a water bottle that you like and make sure that you drink over 100 ounces a day.
Just keep drinking. What did you say? Chug?
Chug mentality.
Chug mentality. Yeah, no, I would agree. Like if you're not enjoying the process, I mean, we were talking about this when it comes to athletics, like when it comes to CrossFit, when it comes to working out, if you're not enjoying it, you're not going to show up. I mean, that's not like every day we enjoy things. Sometimes I'm like, I have to do this and then I'll feel great afterwards.
Yeah.
But I think it's the same thing when it comes to our nutrition. It's like, we've got to take care of our bodies and replenish our muscles or we're not going to enjoy our workouts. And then also I'm listening to my body. What is my body saying when it comes to recovery? And it's going to feel really great if I'm putting good things into it, like the proteins and hydration and all of that. And so we can't neglect that. I think but nutrition we talk about is like our foundation. And then from there we can build everything else. So if we're not taking care of our bodies and recovering well, like we can't get to our goals that we want to get to. So it is foundational.
Totally.
So with that, we'll go into a part 2 next time. And what are we going to cover?
Next time we will talk about mobility. We will talk about rest days, and we will talk about sleep. We didn't hit sleep.
Yeah, sleep is huge.
We chatted a little too long today, so we're gonna have part 2 of this. So this will not be the last that you hear about rest and recovery.
We'll have more updates on our lives. Hopefully no more salmonella next time we talk.
No, definitely avoid salmonella. That is one final thought. All right, guys.
Okay.
Thanks so much for listening. This is the Happy Healthy Human Podcast. Stay happy, stay healthy.
Bye.